Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of The Week Ahead. I'm Zach Grimes, and today I'm joined with Ryan Green. Ryan, it's good to have you back. How are you? You looking very
Yeah, good, Zach. Thank you very much. I'm getting in the festive cheer, as you can see already. I hope I'm not the first kind of post that we've done that's Christmas orientated, but I think this will definitely give few people a good laugh.
I think you are. Yeah, this is the first post, so you're one is there. Ryan, you've been obviously away for the last 2 weeks, so you're able to give a bit of insight what you've been up to?
Well, I do have a day job as well, Zach. So I've been,
Really?
yeah. So while I do love this, honestly, I do love this. I sometimes have to kind of prioritize other things. So, but I watched all of the live streams that you did. I thought they were really good. So hats off. You don't really need me. That's the thing, right?
No, we're not letting you go anytime soon, but no, it's good to have you back. But unfortunately, as you know, we were due to have Tiffany Beck from PLMR on today, but unfortunately she's come down ill. So we do send her our best wishes, and we're hoping to reschedule in the new year. So we thought we'd still go ahead because we had a bit of an event last week, Ryan. So we could reflect on that. I thought it'd be good for us to have a chat and delve into that. What do you think?
Yeah, totally. Well, don't undersell it, Zach, because I think there was a lot of love online for the event last week. Feedback has been coming in and people really enjoyed it. And yeah, the kind of whole MarCommEd Winter Event, hosted by Canva was fantastic. A real great vibe. I know I was there, you were there. Everyone came away buzzing, which was super. And yeah, I think, it's lovely to be able to organize these things. We're really appreciative of Canva for hosting us. And they always, they're great. It's great, lovely space, big screens. They've put on a barista. They served up lunch, and it's, in Shoreditch in London, it's super trendy, hip kind of area. So while the TfL team, I think we're all, Transport for London, we were struggling with trying to keep all the trains and tubes running on time.
Yeah.
Actually, everyone did make a really good effort. They turned up and they participated, which was fantastic. So, yeah, big. Any key highlights for you?
It was great to get everybody in the room. I'll be honest, when we were planning it months beforehand, I was a bit nervous given the time of year. It's that a few weeks before Christmas. People are feeling tired. They're busy planning for that Christmas wind down. But I feel like it was needed. And actually, speaking to people in the room, it was quite breathtaking, really, to see how appreciative everyone was of us actually hosting that and bringing everyone together. I think the biggest takeaway for me was that we had representation from all corners of the UK.
Yeah.
We over 50 people representing a multitude amount of multi-academy trust schools, private schools, colleges and training providers, and even people from the third sector. And it just showcased actually the power of bringing that community together to really collaborate. So, yeah, I think from a cultural perspective, that was a big takeaway for me. How about yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I thought the content really was so good. I mean, Jade from Canva, she always does a really good piece and just obviously bringing awareness to new features that have come out on the platform. We talked about Affinity. While it probably didn't resonate with everybody in the room, actually it has got its space. And I think just generally letting people know that Affinity is going to be available for free for education was a good bit of time. Wayne Cartmel from My New Term, fantastic presentation, data driven, which I thought was really great. Just looking at some of the insights that they have from their recruitment and application management system,
Yeah.
and really sharing those with the team that would better inform them. So when they're running campaigns around recruitment and for roles, that they're incorporating and thinking about that as part of the content.
Yeah, I think if I put my Loris Trust hat on as I was watching Wayne deliver his presentation, there were so many takeaways there for me to put back into my own trust in terms of, the being able to look at how you can be more targeted with your campaign. So I think everyone was in sync with that feeling towards that. So yeah, big shout out and thank you to Wayne really for sharing that, because there was things, you you kind of take your assumption sometimes with your campaigns that you need to be far and wide, when actually he was saying the opposite, and the data was proving that.
Yeah, 100%. And it's great that an organization is really prepared to be. I mean, obviously, nothing was personal was disclosed, but 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 to make better decisions and better judgments in recruitment and retention campaigns. I thought the panel was really great. We had Richard, we had Kim, and we had Kevin Cooper on the panel who were part of that discussion, and they were just talking about their experiences, and very much from whether it was comms or HR backing or video, how they would use that in the recruitment and retention piece. Again, just insights that were valuable to, I think, a lot of people in the room who might have either been thinking this thing and doubting themselves, and actually to hear it from somebody else and have affirmation is very powerful, especially in such a siloed role, because marketing comms, I think it wraps and touches a lot of areas within schools. That kind of specific person who is tasked with that responsibility is probably a lone wolf, in the kind of organization. Or they might be siloed, and having that affirmation and perspective, I thought was really helpful. And then, finally, just the group sessions, splitting everyone up, having an opportunity for them to interact was, just such good fun. And people, I think, took a lot away from the practicality and the hands-on afternoon session, which it's very easy, I think, in all education events to turn up and have death by PowerPoint, and just be sat after lunch zombified and, trying to absorb stuff that's just washing over the top of you. Whereas I think that interaction, that kind of getting them to do group work, the facilitation piece was fab. So really, those were the bit. Any other points from you?
Yeah, I mean, just to echo that, I think that, obviously that's something that me and you have shared a view on from the very start, in terms of making sure these events are practical, and, long may that continue. The panel was really insightful for me as well. And again, just a big thanks to everyone who was on there. See, Mark's commented on the chat. So I think Mark Smith has got another skill set there with regards to hosting. So I'm sure we'll be calling on him in the future.
He was really good, actually. He was really good.
His question management was really good, and I think that he made sure that part of the day ran really smooth, and getting the best out of people as well with their answers. So I think that was a big standout for me. But I think just the general theme, we focused the day on recruitment and retention, and it gave people a real clear plan to go away with, using creative and comms to really drive and enforce that, we've got a real part to play. Yes, there is a big crisis, and there's huge challenges where recruitment and retention is concerned. But actually, the underlying theme at which every conversation covered was that, this is a very rewarding career in the sector, regardless of the challenges we're facing. Actually, there's a real story to tell there for every trust and every organisation across the country, that that you can really make a positive impact. I know that sounds a bit cliche, but there's probably no other occupation or no other sector that can do it just like education.
No. I mean, it's just, as a marketeer, it's just great content. I mean, that's the bit. I mean, really, it is fantastic in content. Your audience is going to be engaged with it. They're going to be passionate about it, and it is that storytelling element. So, I wrote a post on the back of this, which I thought we could go through this together, which is kind of 6 key takeaways from this event. And as you know, there was kind of a bit more of a holistic element, but the main focus and the main thrust of the event was kind of about staff recruitment, one of the big challenges, especially coming up with the new year. So I thought we could work through the kind of key headlines, and it would be great to get your feedback on them and discuss them in a bit more detail. So the first thing was marketing and comms at the table first. One of the things that a lot of people said was, marketing and comms is an afterthought and not invited at the front, at the very beginning. What's your take on that?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think where you see it happening, and again, I'm fortunate that I do have that early intervention within my own organisation. But I think that's just generally because of the nature of my role. But I'm mindful that other people in the space don't necessarily have that. But where there is that early intervention, it works, and you can get a clear forward plan. You can take ownership of making sure that communication, that campaign plan is in place. So yeah, I'd be quite strong in saying that if you've not got that comms person as part of your recruitment campaign or any campaign or any priority that's going to be externally facing as such, then really think about that, because they can really make a difference. You do need communication throughout with every stakeholder that's potentially involved, and some of that might not be directly towards your potential candidates. But one thing that's a key driver for me is, with your school website, are you constantly plugging positive news and showcasing the story of that school? Because yes, that has got a real focus around admissions, but equally, if you're a prospective employee, then you want to be doing your research. You're going to be looking at websites, and that will paint a true picture in terms of how that school culture compares to another school or another organisation out of the sector, because we know recruitment competition is far greater than just within the educational space.
Yeah, that brings me on to my kind of second point, which is just really to kind of echo the piece that you just said, which is around authenticity wins. And I think one of the things that Wayne mentioned at one point was the need to not just think about the advertising of the role, but the advertising of the organization should be in equal kind of measures. And that while the job advert might be how you apply, the kind of brand advertising and the whole value proposition is the reason you will apply. Ruby's come to say hi. She's got absolutely massive now for all of our kind of watchers who remember she was tiny. Like now she's just a unit. Yeah. It is around that authenticity piece and making sure that that's there. My third point was know your audience's location. So can you just talk us through a bit of that?
Yeah, I mean, it's being in the right platform at the right time, engaging the right people. It's a tough challenge because of some of that may mean that your content will have to vary. So, for example, if you're posting stuff on Instagram, you want to be very visual, whereas LinkedIn, you might be a bit more text-based, or X as well. But it's ensuring that in those digital spaces that you're appealing to the right people. And something I've banged on about on here for a while is being mindful of the generational demands as well. We've got a younger generation coming through who do expect things to be in a bit more of a visual context. And I know Wayne touched upon it in his talk around the application form. If you're sending somebody or expecting somebody to fill in an old style Word doc form in comparison to your competitor down the road who's got a nice slick online form, things like that can actually make a big difference.
Yeah.
But also,
go on, sorry.
Just I think just to add as well, the physical space as well. If you're doing external advertisements, again, the budgets are tight, so that can often be a challenge, certainly in the public sector. But how are you engaging people physically, and where are those advertisements? Again, going back to Wayne's data, it showcased that there's a lot of roles where within a short proximity, there's a real need or want to work within schools. So we were seeing within like a 7-mile radius, people were looking for teaching or support staff jobs. Well, how can we use that in a physical way to make sure that if we are doing external advertisements, we're getting the best out of that? So I think there's two kind of angles to that answer, but I think obviously digital is the biggest driver, and it's ensuring that you've got that diversity in terms of how your content works across platforms.
Yeah. So, and then I suppose leading on to the content piece, Richard Tilley, Kevin Cooper talked about this, the power of video and getting beyond the school gates and really showcasing that the inside of a school, showcasing, making it, evidencing that authenticity and everything that you're talking about, what you are, and kind of showing that in real life, and that exists. And I thought that was a really, can you see video becoming, I mean, it's probably a bit of a leading question, but becoming more prominent in marketing and communications within schools?
Yeah, I think it has to be. I think if you're not using it, then there's a major red flag, to be quite blunt about it. I mean, 85% of content is predicted to be video by 2030. I read in a publication not so long ago through CIM. But if you look at every platform, every social media platform, they're driving video. We've seen it now. Instagram, sorry, not Instagram, LinkedIn are now even driving short form story-like content. So when all the platforms are investing in that, that's where they're going to put their driver on it. So if you're not moving with that wave, then you're in trouble. So yeah, I think you've got to embrace that video world. I mean, the bigger challenge is getting people willing to get in front of the camera and to be part of that. Again, it's a battle that I have, because as everyone else has, because there's always that worry of, am I going to get trolled? Am I going to get spammed? Or just people not wanting to be in front of camera for various reasons. But unfortunately, that's just the way of the world. And as marketers, we've got to really drive this.
I know it's so interesting though. I mean, I'm sure you've had it as well, where you've gone to video as a load of teachers or a load of school staff who are normally absolutely fine standing up in front of a classroom with 30 kids, projecting themselves, articulating, really kind of vocal, and have this wonderful kind of variance of kind of tone, and then you put a camera in them and they go and then just literally start freaking out, and they can't get their words out, and you're like, wow, I'm always astonished by that. It's just never ever ceases to amaze me how you put a camera in front of somebody and really people just overthink it. They're worried about the perfection. Oh, I didn't say this one thing right, or my tone wasn't great, and that just consumes them, and they lose the message for this want to be kind of film ready, Hollywood ready, and actually it's the authentic, it's the fake, it's the kind of it's the and the pauses and all of that lot that really makes the content more accessible, I think, and trustworthy.
Yeah, and again, the kind of like this format here, it's got to be conversational. That's like something as marketers, as the videographers out there. Again, advocating the work Kevin does. There's a lot of prep work that goes on before you press the red button and record, and part of that has got to be getting the person in front of the camera relaxed and in a way where they can feel more comfortable and feel at home with that. But yeah, I agree. I think you've got to have a bit of authenticity with that in this day and age, because if everything is like Hollywood polished content, then straight away it switches people off.
Yeah, no, it's good.
So if you are a head teacher watching, or a CEO, or anyone else in the education space, take note, because we'll all be coming out with cameras very soon.
So a couple of things, which was final points, which were digital first always. And I think for me, that was really talking about the kind of whole experience, not just the communications. If there's a CTA or call to action within the actual kind of posts, what that feels like for the next part of that customer journey, what the experience is post communications, and how that's kind of relayed, and the fact that you are going to be, with every accepted candidate, there is always going to be a pile of rejected candidates. And actually, if you don't think about this kind of whole digital experience from advertisement through to send off, really, and rejection, you are damaging a potential talent pool that you can tap into at a later date. And that was another thing that I thought was a really interesting perspective, is just taking that step back and looking, and has anyone done that analysis of how it is? Because I think everybody looks to go, I've got the candidate, tick in the box, everybody else, blah, and what does that feel like?
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to think that's not the case across the board, but yeah, I presume it does happen. I know, obviously, from experience, when you've applied for jobs in the past, you don't hear anything, or even you've had an interview, then you don't hear anything. So, unfortunately, that is out there, and this is much broader than education. But I think, in the time we're in now, there's got to be an expectation that that aftercare is there as such, whether you're successful or not. And there are a lot of great systems that help with that with recruitment. You know, My New Term, when you look at the features there that Wayne was showcasing, then there is that facility to do that in a digital way. But it's more about the brand and what, at the end of the day, regardless of how much we do in marketing, people will always buy people, and it's word of mouth that will always have its strongest influence. So if somebody's got a bad experience, that will do far more damage than anything else out there, because they're going to tell that to their friends, to their family members, to prospective employees. But also mindful that actually that person might not be the right fit at that time, but they may be in the future for something else. So, I'll use a dirty word here, but it is sales.
Yeah. Well, I don't think it is a dirty word. I think it is a word that actually education needs to get comfortable with. Is that they are selling themselves. They're selling themselves as an employer. They're selling themselves as an education provider. They're selling themselves as a support service, as a pastoral service for the development of children and young people. I think actually, I don't see it as a dirty word. I think it's an underutilized word and actually needs to start coming into the vocabulary of education professionals,
Yeah, I mean, it's not I wouldn't say it was dirty.
You can see I was like, right.
I'm being pragmatic about it, but good explanation there, right? But I think you're right, and we've got to have that sales approach and that funnel of this is the top of the funnel. We want to move people through there, and actually some of that sometimes it's putting them back through the funnel on a recycle. So because roles change and people evolve, people move around, and that's the nature of the game we're in. So I think that's a big part with that. But talent pools are great, and again, it's a great way as well. Sometimes if you don't have a role, for someone to let you know that they're interested, and it's a good indicator to see how many people want to come and work for your organisation, even if that position's not there right now.
Yeah, no, I think that's it. So those were my 6 points. Basically, marketing comes first at the table. Authenticity wins. Know your audience location, the power of video, digital first always, and build your talent pool. So those were my 6 things, and it's great to get your feedback on those.
That's good to chat about them. Yeah.
I just want to say as well, and I'm sure you'll join me on this, Zach, huge thanks to Jay Parkinson Hill, Wayne Cartmell, Richard Tilley, Kevin Cooper, Kim Stewart-Jones, Mark Smith, Claire White, and yourself and myself for all our contributions on the day, and everybody else who made it down. Really, really appreciate everything that you did. Obviously, all the regional chairs for helping out with the groups and the collaboration sessions at the end. That was also a great effort from them. So, all in all, I think a roaring success. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. I think it's again another steer in the right direction. Strengthening this relationship we're building across the community, and I think it really bodes as well for 2025. We've already got an event in January here in Greater Manchester, where I'm based. Thanks to Julia, who's one of our Northwest Regional chairs. She's going to be hosting an event, so do have a look on the website if you're under events, if you're interested in that one. But again, just another shout out, if you are in a region that you think, we'd like to host an event and bring people together, then do get in touch with us and let us know.
Yeah, and that's I think that's us for Christmas, isn't it? That's our final. This is our final one of the year. So
yes, it is. Yeah, so I think it's just a big wrap up of 2024. It's been a great year.
It has been a great year.
Yeah, it's gone fast. So as the saying goes, time flies when you're having fun.
It does. Well, listen, mate, it's great to catch up with you again, and I'm sure I'll catch you before Christmas. But for everyone who's watching this, have a wonderful Christmas, and we'll see you all in 2025.
Yes. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.